Hi, I'm Rocket, and welcome to another Whiteboarding with Rocket. Today, I'm going to talk to you about whiteboarding markers. Now, most of you have walked into a room and picked up one of those expo markers and gone to write, and it's out of juice. And it's like, really? And then it's a little bit of panic. All right, where is another marker? And oh, you got to go to another conference room, and it just gets kind of painful. And so if you're doing whiteboarding at a customer site or in the office or even at home, having good whiteboard markers on hand is a big deal. It's kind of one of your essential tools. So along those lines, I spent a lot of time researching whiteboard markers. Now there's some really great resources, and I'll post one in the show notes here about like a whole big bake-off of whiteboard markers. Now, I did a similar thing. This was published after I did my little bake-off of about 100 different markers. But what happened is I went and researched all the different markers that were on this list, and found a lot of them aren't accessible to the U.S. So if you're in Europe, some of these are amazing, and it took me 2.5, 3 weeks to get one, and it was a little expensive, and it was like, yeah, it's not worth that. So I found one that has good availability, good price, and is even refillable. And so it's called the Whiteboard Master. And here is one here, Whiteboard Master. And it's a really nice whiteboard marker. It's got this great tip. Okay, the tip is rounded, and they come in a chisel tip as well, but I like the rounded because this gives me the versatility. Chisel tip can look really good if you're doing something special or you want to have some calligraphy flair to your whiteboard. But I've stuck with the chisel tip once I found them, and it comes in 4 colors. I have 3 right here. You've got red, which is always good as a nice contrast with your black. And then you have blue. There's also orange and green, but you only get orange and green in a 5-pack. So I don't tend to have those on hand very often. You don't have individual sales. And I will get them by the dozen, and I'll get a dozen a year basically. And often I'm giving them away because people, it's one of those, I meet a fellow whiteboarder and I'm giving them away. But I'll show you what happens here. So you can unscrew the bottom here, and this is a refillable thing, and it just pops out right here. Okay, and then you get a new one and you pop it in, put this back on, and you're good to go. So you can refill these 3 to 4 times. I've refilled them about 5 times the most. What happens after about the 5th time is the tip starts to wear down, and it's not as crisp on the whiteboard, so it tends to be really thick lines, which in some cases is great. But when you're trying to do fine lettering, forget about it. So Whiteboard Master from Pilot. I'll have the link to I have an Amazon list that has all these that I use to order on a regular basis. I'll keep that in the show notes as well. So there you go. I'm Rocket. Thank you.